Hello and welcome to the Formula Racing League. This is the Tier 1 event here at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. Round 4 of Season 3 takes us to the Styria Mountains. We should be in for another cracking Grand Prix with the championship wide open after the first 3 rounds. Last week, Lezard took his first victory of the season in his maiden race back after missing the opening 2 rounds. It is Turenbar who leads the way though by 24 points. Now remember, the top 15 score points, and the point system is different to real-life Formula 1. It's 40 points for a race winner, 32 for second, and 26 for third, by the way, down to the 15th place finisher, who'd get 1 point. So we've got a full qualifying session, and with there being 15 drivers, it could well be used as a practice session. But we'll run down on a few things in regards to maybe the calendar in terms of how each driver has done this season. We are expecting Dixon to be joining us as he's just on some public transport at the moment on his way home. So he should be with us in time for the race starts. There's just a couple of driver changes. Bradfield is in the Mercedes in place of Connor, who's not around this evening. And Zach is in the Aston Martin in place of Pascal. I'm just trying to count the numbers right on here. I think we may have 16 drivers involved, which is good news because that way we'll have at least one driver. Although, having said that, Dan Murphy has just opted out of qualifying. He usually does this, Dan Murphy. He usually doesn't set a qualifying time. He'd rather sit at the back of the grid and make his way through the field, which he has been doing a lot during his time with the Formula Racing League. So he could well be losing the only driver already. But at least we get to see some track action on circuit. Now, who will be the first driver to blink first? They'll all be sorting out their setups because once they do leave the garage, they will be under parc fermé rules. There's Pimis making his way out onto the circuit in the Red Bull. So Pimis in the number 2 Red Bull. I think he had the number 33 in the practice session he did. Max Verstappen fan, of course. And we've been round 4, so we've done Sao Paulo, we've done Monza, we've done Shanghai. This is the Red Bull Ring, and after this one it'll be Albert Park in Australia, and then Bahrain, Suzuka, Austin, and Singapore throughout September. Mexico and Baku are the next 2 rounds after that. And should they be released in time, we are expecting 2 more DLC tracks to be added to the calendar. If not, we could well run just the 11 tracks for this season, which is still enough for a championship. So Pim is coming round to start a flying lap in the Red Bull. Won't want to be pushing too hard too soon. Remember, if drivers do crash out on circuit, that is their qualifying session finished. And exceeding track limits at turn 1, so he'll have to go round again. I think Romans Republic is on an outlap. Here's Liam though. Rear wing open. So 15.8, my sector 1. Now Lezard, who was involved in the practice session earlier for Ferrari, he set a high 1 minute 2, which is very, very quick around this racetrack. I'm not expecting Liam to reach the dizzy heights of that, but we're expecting him to get into Q3. Not with a lap like that though, because that has been invalidated. We'll go to Exotic Alpha because he's on a flying lap. That's currently legal. Exotic Alpha crossing over the line for a 1 minute 3.4. or 1 minute 35, I should say. A couple of people have been messaging on the live chat. We'll start off with Adam, who's saying, hello Tom mate, glad to be back for full time, even though I'm not there for quali. And Smoley coming in saying it's all dry for quali and race, but it's like 13 chance, so it might come unexpectedly. I'd like to say it'll be an all dry one, but if there's a bit of sprinkle of rain in the air, then that could throw in another mix like it did in Brazil. Davidek going third on a 1 minute 3.9. Now here's Pimis in the Rebel, who's on a lap that's valid, crossing over the line to post a 1 minute 3.9. That's the slowest of all the time so far. Now there's Smolly on intermediate. He's probably doing that to get rid of some tyres that he doesn't need for later on. So as long as he does get a time on the board, nothing else matters. Liam's on a lap that's currently illegal, so I'll come away from him. Here is Becco in the Aston Martin, just running a bit too deep there into turn 6. 44.2 isn't a bad time by sector 2. Lizard saying, hey Tom. Hello Lizard, how are you? So Becco entering the last turn. It's a 1 minute 3.8, but at least he goes in front of Devilish, Pinnis and Smalley. So who else is on a flying lap? Mikey's on a lap that's invalid. I think Barry's going to be the next one to cross over the line, so we'll go to him next. Exotic Alpha is on a flying lap as well. We'll go back to him. 43.9 by sector 2. Through the last turn, just about kept his car within the limits. It'll be a low 1 minute 3. It's a 1 minute 3.7. Barry's lap time is going to be a 1 minute 4.8. Don't forget to leave a like and do, of course, subscribe to the channel. Down to 5th gear for turn 6. Now Mikey will be wanting to just make sure he gets through turn 7 and 8 without any drama. So easy to invalidate your lap time here at the Rebel Ring, particularly through turns 1, 6, 9 and 10. So Mikey's coming over the line now, and it's going to be a 1 minute 3.9, just inside the 1 minute 3s. He goes up to 6th. Liam on a lap in the Alpha Tauri. I wonder if Jack Berry's on a lap as he comes through. He's on another lap. And this lap time is going to be quicker than before by 0.4. That puts Berry up there in 7th place. Liam next up for Alpha Tauri goes 5th with a 1 minute 3.8. Now Don Argent, who's had a good showing in the last couple of rounds, puts a 1 minute 3.4 on the board. Schirnbauer started the lap. We'll go back to Schirnbauer then. 15.9 in sector 1 for the championship leader. Remember, it's a pole position and a fastest lap you can get points from. Pole position, you get 1 point. Fastest lap in the race is a 1 point as well, providing you do finish in the top 10, of course. Schirnbauer is coming up to an Alpha Tauri, should remain out of the way. And through turn 9. Got that last section right, not quite so. On the exit of turn 10, and that will also invalidate the next lap. So he'll have to go again. Don Argent should be coming back into the pits at the end of this lap, is he? No, he's going on for another lap. Go to Lizard next as he posts. Well, I was going to say he was on a lap, but his lap time's been invalid already. I can imagine a lot of drivers will just sit out the remainder of Q1, save tyres for Q2. So Don Argent coming through sector 2, and it's a low 44 by sector 2, so he's inside the time that's better than his. Could go in front of Exotic Alpha with the effort he's on right now, providing he gets the last 2 corners right. Turn 9 was close, turn 10 not quite so. So Zach, one of 2 reserve drivers being called in for tonight, is on a fast lap now in the Aston Martin. So 44.3 by sector 2. He's invalidated his lap time, so we may as well come away from him. Lazard is next behind him, 44.0, which is not his best from what we've seen. Coming into turn 9, takes it easy through there. Turn 10, oh, he doesn't quite do it, does he? I think he backs off the throttle a little bit to make sure he did get the lap time in. It's a 1 minute 3.5 for Lazard. Rafiq in the Haas, going through the kink of turn 5. Just gets his car within the limits there, 44.6. He's got out of shake through 7. He'll compromise his line for 8. I think he's going to be around about where Davidish and Mikey are for this effort here, I think. So over the line comes Rafiq. It's going to be a 1 minute 4.4. At least he goes in front of Bowie. Zach is next behind in the Aston Martin. And Bradfield not setting a lap time in this session. He's probably going to wait for Q2. Rafiq is on a better lap already. Zach has had his lap time invalidated, so he may as well go again. So 6 minutes remaining of this Q1 session. Now as it stands, Turenbar is currently shown in 16th place. He could be the one being eliminated at the end of the session, which would be a major shock. 44.5 by sector 2 for Rafiq. He makes a mistake through turn 7 again. One minute 4.2 for him, and he goes 10th. Bowie's just started a flying lap. We'll go to Turenbar next though. Goes past Zach. So Turenbar coming through, and this lap time is going to be a 1 minute 3.5 and goes 3rd. So a decent effort. Lazard's next up in the Ferrari. And it's a 1 minute 3.1, and he goes to the top of the timing pages with that effort. So Bowie in the Alfa Romeo, about to come through sector 2 now. He's in the 44s. He's a 10th up from before. So what can he find in this last sector? Oh, he carried in too much speed there, and that's going to cost him time. It's a 1 minute 4.4. Only bettered the lap time by a couple of thousandths. So Bowie stays 12th. $44.2 for Zach by sector 2. And Turenbar improving his time to go second on a 1 minute 3.1. Zach just backing off a little bit there just to make sure he didn't exceed the limits. It's a 1 minute 4.1 for him though. There's definitely more time in there considering he's been on those tyres for a good few laps now. So it's promising signs so far for Zach. Just needs to keep his car on the racetrack. Davidosh is on a flying lap in the Ferrari I should say. Muddled up on my words there. And as we watch him come towards turn 9. It's a 1 minute 3.4, it goes 5th. Schoenbauer will be making his way back into the pit lane, I should think. And he was doing so. That was quite a late change of direction to get into the pit lane from there. So Becco's on a flying lap now in the Aston Martin. He's going to go for another one. Is he on a fresh set or is he on a... No, I think he's on an old set actually, is Becco. So at the moment, Dan Murphy will be the one being eliminated at the end of qualifying. Got just 3 cars out on circuit. They are Davidosh, Becco and Bury. So 44.3 by set to 2 for Becco. In the last corner, can he beat his own lap time of 1 minute 3.8? He can by only 400ths. But he's on a slightly better lap time than before in the Alfa Romeo. It's good enough to put him up to 11th place on a 1 minute 4.1. He may try and go for another effort. Is he on an old set, I wonder? Yes, he is. He's on an old set of softs. Here's Jack Berry. So we've just got 2 cars on circuit. Becco's one of them. And Berry is the other. Becco has invalidated his lap time. So he may as well back out of it and go again. So Berry's only 4 thousandths of a second away from his previous lap time. Or is he going to choose to come into the pits at the end of this lap? He's choosing to come into the pits at the end of this lap, and Becco has done likewise. So Murphy will be the only driver being eliminated at the end of Q1. No need for the checkered flag to fall, as there will be no drivers out on track. And so that concludes Q1, with Lazard on top of the timing pages. The only grid spot that determines for the grid will be Murphy in 16th place, as he didn't set a time. And I think Zach had crashed out on circuit, so he could be gone as well. But we'll have a look at the classification. And Lazard, there you go, confirmation is top of the timing pages. Zach crashed out in Q1, and Murphy will start at the back of the grid with him. So 14 drivers go through to Q2. We'll be back in a moment. This is Q2 then, so we would just wait for some drivers to make their way out onto the circuit. Now, who's going to be brave enough to go for the medium compound? Well, I can tell you that Bradfield is not going to take part in Q2. He's opting out of it, so he's thinking more about the race, which is good news for those who are wanting to get through on the mediums, because that's one less obstacle in their way. As we watch Smalley and Davidesh, I think it is, that's going out. No, it's Lezard who's out on a set of mediums. So Lezard, Smalley, and I would think... And Romans Republic is doing the same. What about Davidesh? Has he gone on a set of softs or mediums? It's soft tyres for him. Becco's on track as well. He's on softs. So just look to see who's on what. So Becco's on softs. Lezard is on mediums, as is Smalley. Romans Republic. Davidesh is on softs. So just watch to see if there's any more drivers. There's 5 more drivers heading on track now. You can see Bowie's one of them. He's on the soft tyres, I believe. He is so. Pimis is on mediums. Mikey's on mediums. Liam's on mediums as well. Exotic Alpha is on mediums. So plenty of drivers are going to try and get through on the medium compound. So we'll go to Lezard as he starts a lap now in the Ferrari. Three drivers stuck in the pits at the moment. They're probably just going to wait for a gap in the traffic before they make their move. It is a short track after all. It's the Red Bull Ring, 4.1 kilometres. The circuit originated as the Österreich Ring that hosted its first Formula 1 World Championship Grand Prix event in 1970. Jackie Ickx won that Grand Prix for Ferrari. For Joe Silver won for BRM the year after that. Of course, 2 of the corners are named after late world champions. Niki Lauda has been named for the turn 1. As for Jochen Rindt, his name is known for turn 9. As we watch Leslie crossing over the line on his mediums, 1 minute 3.2. That's a good lap time from him. So he goes to the top spot. What about Smalley? He goes on a 1 minute 3.5. That's okay, but it's not great. Becco goes third on his softs, 1 minute 3.7 for him. Davidesh is next up for Ferrari. He's had his lap invalidated, so he'll have to go again. It's the same for Romans Republic. So we go to Exotic Alpha. One minute 3.6 for him. Mikey goes 5th on a 1 minute 3.7. The times are starting to really flow in now. Liam goes 4th on a 1 minute 3.6. Pimis goes 7th on a 1 minute 4.0. And Bowie goes 8th on a 1 minute 4.0. As you watch Liam spin round and avoiding the Haas of Rafiq, who's just come out of the pits. Thankfully, no one else was involved. I think Turenbar is crossing over the line now to start a flying lap for himself. John Argent's stuck in the pits at the moment. So you have to say so far, Lezard's time on the mediums is going to be good enough. It's just Smalley downwards that is more worrying. So Rafiq is on his outlet. Romans Republic crossing over the line. It's a 1 minute 3.7 that puts him 5th. Turenbar's next behind, although he's at turn 4, so we'll go to... I wonder if Pimis is on another flying lap. He is so. His lap time's been invalidated, so may as well back out of it. And Barry crossing over the line. It's a 1 minute 4.0. That's better than what did last time, but not good enough to move him up the order. As we watch Turenbar, who's backed off the pace on his latest lap, so he's probably just going to wait until he decides to go again. He must have made a mistake somewhere, I can imagine. But he crosses over the line to start another lap. So Turenbar, who won in Monza this season, 2nd in Brazil, and 3rd last time out in China. It was an amazing comeback drive, given that he was so far back, given his melodies at the beginning of that wet period of the Chinese Grand Prix. And then there's the track tried out and we had the safety car. That's when he very much came alive and recovered to the podium. We shouldn't expect any rain for qualifying. So we watch Truenbar make his way through turn 4. We should expect him to be in around the low 44s by sector 2. It's a 44.0. Rafiq goes 10th on a 1 minute 4.4, which is nowhere. It's not going to be anywhere near enough to get him through into Q3, so he's most certainly going to have to go again. Truenbar exiting turn 10. DRS open, and it's a 1 minute 3.3, so he goes second with that, so he displaces Smalley. Argent's out on circuit now. Rafiq's backed off on his latest effort. Berry's on a flying lap now. I think that's his old set of softs that he's on. He'll be out for another run at the end of Q2. It's just whether he'll be able to find the amount of time that's going to help us get through. He's at 44.3 by sector 2. It's the fastest he's done so far in Q2. So he's definitely on course to get into the 1 minute 3s, but is it going to be enough to help him progress further? So over the line comes Berry. And it's a 1 minute 3.8 that puts him 9th. That's a good effort given that he is on old tyres. Davidovic is on the soft compounds. I think that's a new set that he's on. I think that may be his old set actually. He was on earlier that before his lap was invalidated. So in the drop zone we've got Rafiq, Bradfield, Argent and Davidovic. There's less than 8 minutes to go yet, so plenty of time for everything to change. Lezzard and Truenbar not going back out again. I don't blame them, to be honest with you. Smalley will be looking over his shoulders, although that 1 minute 3.5 should be enough. It may be worth a gamble. Here's Argent on his medium compound in the Mercedes. I would expect him to trouble the likes of Lezzard, Truenbar and Smalley in this qualifying session. It's a 44.2 by sector 2 for the Brits. Oh, he's invalidated his lap time though, so he'll have to go again. Davidovic is on a flying lap now for Ferrari. Pimis is also out on circuit on the soft compounds. He's looking to go quicker than he did so before. Through sector 1, it's a 15.8. Davidovic's times a 44.2 by sector 2, so he just needs to get a banker lap in now. And that should see him into Q3. Of giving himself a chance of making it through to Q3. It's a 1 minute 3.7 for him. That pushes Pimis into the drop zone, who we're going to go to next. 2 turns up from before on his personal best. So Berry's the driver on the bubble. Pimis, oh, he got out of shape. He missed the apex of 9. He sacrificed some speed through the apex of the last turn. It's a 1 minute 3.6. And that puts him up to 5th place. Arjun gets turn 9 right. And the same for turn 10. That is nice. Over the line. 1 minute 3.2. And that's the fastest of any time so far in this session out of those on the mediums. And that should seal Arjun into Q3. I think Pimis may be going on another lap actually, so we'll go to him next. He may be sneaking to the high 43s by sector 2. Not quite, it's a 44.0. He's invalidated his lap time, so I think he'll just go back into the pit lane here, to be honest with you, which he's doing so now. So Mike is on an outlap. He is in need of a better time. Rafik is going for another effort now. He's invalidated it already, so he'll have to back out of it and just go again. May as well harvest the energy. And Smalley decides to risk it. He believes his 1 minute 3.5 will be enough to get him through. But having said that, Mikey, who is in the drop zone 11, is on a 1 minute 3.7. Now I'd imagine with this lap time, well, just looking at Davidosh, who is also out of qualifying, or Jack Berry also not going out for another run. So that confirms that Arjun and Lezard and Chirumbar actually will be going through to Q3 no matter what happens. It's just whether Smully will get knocked down even further or not. It's improbable, but not impossible. And from what I've been told, it's 5 minutes until the rain comes down from Smalley. Thank you very much for providing me with that information. In fact, the rain is coming down now. So Mikey will want to get this lap in as quickly as he can before the track does grease up. So into turn 9. Around the last turn, will this be enough to move in out of the drop zone? Yes, it is. It goes 6th. That pushes Becco into the drop zone. He's on a flying lap though in the Aston Martin. Rafik goes for a spin on the exit of turn 6, goes through the polystyrene boards for good measure. I don't think he's going to get into Q3 now. Now Becco is, he's a quarter of a tenth up by sector 2. If he keeps it up though round here, it would be enough to push Davidosh into the drop zone, and he'll be out of qualifying. Rafik has stopped out on circuit, which is against the rules, so there'll be a penalty coming his way. Becco over the line, and no improvement because he's invalidated his lap time. He didn't even better his lap time anyway. So the 4 drivers we're going to be losing at the end of Q2 are Becco, Bowie, Rafik and Bradfield. So Davidosh can breathe a sigh of relief as he will go through to Q3. Liam's out on circuit at the moment on a set of soft tyres. Becco may as well come back into the pits, to be honest with you. You're not going to find any grip on the track now as you used to. Now does Becco come into the pits? Or he decides to risk it? And he's going to go for it. He's got over a minute remaining, so I don't see him improving, to be honest with you. You can see they had to almost tiptoe his way through turn 1. Let's see what his sector 1 time is like. He's a 10 down already, so that's the difference. As he comes towards turn 4. Oh, he got caught out on the curve there. It's just so slippy now. There's just no grip on it. So through turn 6, yeah, he's over a second off. He may as well forget it, to be honest with you. And the track is not going to get any better. So Becco will be out of qualifying. Everyone else is in the pits now, as is Becco. Well, this is going to make for an interesting Q3 session, that's for sure. So your 4 drivers eliminated are Becco, Bowie, Rafik and Bradfield. And with the conditions changing, this is going to make for an interesting Q3. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back in a moment. So the rain coming down, and this is going to spice things up in Q3. I would expect the track to get very busy right from minute 1 of this final part of qualifying. We've just seen Mikey raring to go coming out of the Williams garage, as is Arjun for Mercedes. He's got a bit to go before he goes past the Williams garage. As you can see, Mikey already out on circuit now on the intermediates. Now you want to be out there in case the conditions do continue to deteriorate, because you won't find a better time on the wet tyres than you would do on the intermediates. So Mikey's out on circuit, as is Argent, as is Smalley. Got the AlphaTauri of Liam coming out, as is the Red Bull of Turenbar. The two Ferraris of Davidovic and Lizard are out there, as is Exotic Alpha in the McLaren. Pimis is coming out on circuit now for Red Bull, and we should expect to see Romans Republic making a move. And he is so now. So all 10 drivers out on the racetrack. So Mikey, what can he do with this lap that he's about to do now? I don't even know if the rain is going to continue to intensify. The DRS has been disabled because of the conditions. Mikey starts his lap time now. Does he keep it within the limits? Yes, he does, but he got poor traction coming out of that. What about Arjun? Has he got through turn 1 fine? It was slower. It was a slower entry, but got through it okay. So it's a 17.4 for Mikey through sector 1. So he goes towards turn 4, downhill. So Mikey coming round the last couple of corners. We should expect to see a lap time on this board, providing he keeps it within the limits of turn 10, which he does so. It's a 1 minute 11.6. What about Arjun? What's his lap time like in the Mercedes? I'd imagine it'd be better than Mikey's. It's a 1 minute 11.1. He goes faster by nearly half a second. Smolly's next behind in the Alpine. He's made a mistake somewhere, only managing third so far on the 1:14 dead. Now Liam crossing over the line, I think, but he's invalidated his lap time. The Red Bull of Turenbar going third on a 1:11.8, but it's Lezard who goes to the top on a 1:10.6. Davidovic is fourth on a 1 minute 11.7, and Exotic Alpha down to 7th place on a 1:12.6, because Pimis has posted a 1 minute 11.6. He goes in front of Mikey into 3rd place. Romans Republic in the Haas. Last man over the line. 1 minute 11.5. He goes 3rd with that. That's a great effort from Romans Republic. So he's managed to find the grip for all he can. I wonder how many drivers are going to go for a second time lap here. I'd imagine that Mikey's doing so. He's a much He's improved a lot through sets, well, throughout the whole lap, to be honest with you. It's a 1 minute 11.1, half a second better than before, and he goes to the front row of the grid. Arjun next up for Mercedes. What can he find? 1 minute 10.9, he goes to the front row, so less than 3/10 away from Lezard's time. Smalley in the Alpine. It's a 1 minute 11.0, he goes third. Liam next behind in the AlphaTauri goes fifth on a 1 minute 11.5. And Lezard improves his time to a 1 minute 10.3. Exotic Alpha in the McLaren inside his lap time invalidated. Davidos goes in the pits. Pimis likewise. And I think Rome's Republic will do the same. And I wonder if Micah will come into the pits at the end of this lap. I think he is, though. Yeah, he's backed out of this one. As he goes towards the pits. So Don Argent rounding the last corner. Doing a third time lap. This is not going to be an improvement, though. So he stays third fastest with that time. Smalley's improved, though, through sector 2. And it's going to be a 1 minute 10.5. And he goes to the front row. Just 2/10 away from Lezard. So his lap time invalidated, so whatever this lap he produces won't put him any further. It would have put him further, but only by a couple of hundredths. Exotic Alpha in the McLaren goes up to 6th with a 1 minute 11.2. So it's advantage Lezard so far in Q3. Arjun going for another time lap. He's over a 10th up from before in sector 1. Gets the turning point right for turn 4 there. Oh, he got a kick of oversteers. He got the power down. That won't do his exit speed any good. Into sector 2, 2/10 up from before. So he's definitely on course for a better time here. This may well put him ahead of Churenbar with this effort. Rounding the penultimate corner of 9, very nicely done. Turn is okay, caught a bit of grass on the way out there, but it's good enough to put him to the front row. So he's managed to find some time in that last sector alone, did Argent. So he goes second, just 1.5 tenths, or just under 1.5 tenths away from pole position, with 5 minutes to go. Exotic Alpha going into the pits. And Arjun, is he trying to go for another lap on the intermediates? I think he may well be. I'll stay with him because he's the only driver on a flying lap. Although Davidos has just started the lap now in the Ferrari. So through sector 2, Arjun is over 2 seconds down from before, so he may as well box in at the end of this lap. We'll go to Davidos then in the Ferrari. He's only 10th at this present moment. We didn't see his improvement in sector 1. I can only assume it is an improvement, given that he's on fresher intermediates than he was so before. No, he's on the same set of intermediates. He's coming around into sector 2 now. 3/10 up from before. Now this would put him up to 7th potentially. So less than 4 minutes remaining. Lezard on provisional pole position, but the conditions improve. And goodness knows how qualified ends, but Davidos hits the barrier on the pit straight. His front wing's gone, so that will be him going into the pit lane for a new nose cone. And Rome's Republic is on an improvement by sector 2. Running the last corner now. Rome's Republic posts a 1 minute 11.3. Goes 7th with that. Who else is on a flying lap? Well, Smalley's rounding the last couple of corners now to begin a lap. Lezard's on a lap that's invalidated. So let's have a look. Who is on the fine lap? Well, Mikey is not because his time's invalidated. Truenbar is, though. He's coming into sector 2 now. He's nearly 400ths of a second faster than his previous best, but his previous best time is a 1 minute 10.7. So he needs to find a heap of time in the last sector to get anywhere near Lizard. Here's the challenge for the race victory later on. His final turn was okay. It's a 1 minute 10.6, but he stays 4th. I'm not sure if he's very happy with that, to be honest with you. Romans Republic on an improvement by sector 2, 2/10 up. And it's a 1 minute 11.0, goes 5th. That's a great effort from Romans Republic to go in front of Mikey. About Truenbar, I think he's nearly 2/10 up by sector 1 alone. So he's definitely on an interesting lap. Liam is also on a lap himself. So these two could cross over the line in tandem. And Liam's on a fast lap before, so this is a good effort he's producing. So Liam entering turn 9 and 10. Truenbar may be able to get a toe off him. Liam goes 6th on a 1 minute 11.1. Truenbar goes to the front row. So it's a big improvement there from Truenbar by over 2/10. So he goes to the front row of the grid next to Lizard. He'll be relieved with that. Exotic Alpha goes 5th on a 1 minute 10.9 in the McLaren. Romans Republic on an even more improvement, but he's invalidated his lap time. So that could see him not improving at all in the remainder of qualifying. It's gone back to a normal mini-map now for Romans Republic, so this is going to be his last attempt. Just about keeping it within the limits. Liam is on a faster lap time by sector 1 than he did so before. Davidosh is not going to be improving his lap time. Smalley's coming around the last corner though. Over the line, and Smalley goes to provisional pole position by nearly 2/10 of a second over Lizard. So Smalley, fastest of everyone so far. Now, what about the others? What have they got in response? Liam's crashed out on circuit, so he's not going to be improving. Mikey goes 5th on a 1 minute 10.7. What about the Red Bulls? Truenbar over the line. No improvement from him. Pimis is over the line, but I don't think he's improved his lap time either. Don Argent goes for a spin on the exit of turn 4. So it's down to Lizard now. Argent just about stays out of the way. I hope that hasn't impeded Lizard's effort here. Let's see what his time's like by sector 2. He's a 10th up. So he's very much in play to take pole position back away from Smalley. Lizard's got no one in front of him now. So he just needs to get the last 2 corners right. That's part 1 done. Lizard over the line. And he takes pole position by 100. So Lizard is on pole position. No, Smalley's got it. Smalley's just posted another brilliant lap time to post a 1 minute 9. So he takes pole position back away from Lizard by nearly 2/10 of a second. So Smalley will start the Austrian Grand Prix from pole position for Alpine. That's a great effort from him. That's the response he needed after his poor showing in China last week. Lizard will join him on the front row. That's Truenbar and Argent on the second row. Mikey's done a great job in the Williams to get himself up into 5th place. Exotic Alpha will be 6th ahead of Romans Republic. Liam will be disappointed with 8th, given he crashed out on circuit on his last run. Pimis will start 9th and Davido's 10th. What a grid we've got for the race later on. Now we are expecting a dry race later on, so those who made it into Q3 by setting their fastest Q2 time in the mediums will have to start on that compound. It's the same for those who got through on the softs. We'll run down on that later. So your grid then, Smalley and Lizard lining up on the front row next to each other. Then it's Truenbar and Argent on the second row, with Mikey and Exotic Alpha on row 3. Rose Republic and Liam on the fourth row, with Pimis and Davidosh running at your top 10. That was qualifying. Next up is the 36th lap Austrian Grand Prix. Who will come out on top between Smalley, Lezard, Turenbar and Argent? So we're all set to go for the grid. It is a dry race. 16 drivers involved, as far as I know. And so they go off on the formation lap, so an opportunity to find out who's starting on what. So everyone, apart from Mikey, Pimis and Davidosh, are starting on the mediums. Mikey, Davidosh and Pimis will be starting on the soft compound. So Smalley on pole ahead of Lezard. Rafik hasn't moved off the grid, or he's come into contact with someone, so that's him waiting on the grid for a little bit longer. So we're watching the cars. There's 3 drivers already on the grid. Lezard, Turenbar and Rafik have been coming to blows. They're not out of the race altogether. They're just being put back onto the grid. Here's a short lap anyway, as Smalley leads the field. You can see 2 soft strategy, potentially mediums going on to a softs, and then another set of softs later on. Could well still be expecting just the 1 soft strategy, but that opens the strategy up for all the drivers on the grid. So the field coming on to the grid now. And Murphy will take up 16th position. Here we go then, Tier 1 in the Formula Racing League, round 4 of Season 3. Who's going to reign supreme here at the Rebel Ring? The 5 red lights, come on. It's lights out, and away we go. Lezard got the better start than Smalley as they come up towards turn 1, but Smalley is away well, so he stays in front with Lezard right behind him. We've got Argent in third in front of Turenbar. There's a bit of collision at the back. Rafik's not moved off the grid, so it looks like he's going to be disqualified from the race as he did so in China last week. But Smalley is in the lead with Lezard second. It's Argent ahead of Turenbar, Alpha fifth, Mikey sixth. Next, Liam, Rose Republic, Pimis and Davidosh running your top 10. There's a bit of jostling for position there, and Turenbar's dropped even further back behind Mikey and the McLaren of Exotic Alpha, but he's got back in front of Alpha anyway. There's a bit of a tap there from Liam behind as they all go through turn 4 safely. I'm just looking to see if there was any damage from any of the drivers so far, but seems like they got away from it fine. But Rafik's race is already over. As we watch, Berry's in 14th place. Murphy's up a few positions as well. He's up to 12th. As we watch the drivers come round to complete the first lap. Smalley in the lead, with Lezard right behind. There's no DRS for the first 2 laps of the race. And someone's gone for a spin at the back. It's Davidosh in the Ferrari. So Davidos spins round. He's reset the car back onto the track as well. So that's against the rules. That'll be a penalty coming his way, for absolutely sure. But Lezard on the tail of Smolly. The leaderboard is currently incorrect at the moment. We're just waiting for that to update itself. So he won't be able to use the DRS yet. As much as it does say on the graphic, Lezard won't be using it at this present moment. So Lezard behind the Alpine as they come towards turn 8. And so lap 2 is completed. Lezard posting the fastest up of the race so far. He's most certainly within a second of him, so he'll be able to use the DRS that is enabled now. And I think we're going to be seeing a change of lead here, because Lezard is going to go to the outside as they come through the kink of turn 2, and Lezard into the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. But Smolly will have the DRS for the next DRS zone, as he was behind him at the detection point, so he may be able to get back through himself. Rome's Republic goes for a spin, or is it Mikey? Mikey's gone for a spin, and so has Zach. Zach in the Aston Martin's gone round, and I think Berry's got himself involved in that as well. So Carnage going up there at turn 3. We'll see what the stewards make of it afterwards. But Lezard has kept hold of P1 ahead of Smolly and Argent. Turenbar up into 4th place now. He's in front of Liam. So the driver's coming around to complete lap 3 of the race. Lezard with a new fastest lap, so 1 minute 5.1. And we've got a safety car now. Now what's that for? Is that for leftover debris on the circuit? Now Zach's got no front wing to his car by the looks of things. So that's why he's coming into the pits. Oh no, there's no front wing needed. So he's going back on. So he's going into a set of softs. Now I wonder if there's leftover debris from the collision earlier on. Now the time, that is a surprise, unless someone has got damage. So we're just waiting for Lezard to catch up to the safety car. Now will those on the softs decide to duck into the pits and put a new set of mediums or hards on? You have to use 2 different dry compounds in a dry race. And Mikey, I think, is coming into the pits. So Mikey into the pits for Williams. Davidos gets penalised though for speeding under the safety car. There is a delta which they have to adhere to. Pimis also in for Red Bull. Davidos likewise. So he's going to be having to take a drive-through penalty once the safety car does go back in. He won't be able to take it during it. Mikey and Pimis are out on mediums, as is Davidos. I think Zach is going to be passing the Ferrari to go off into 14th position. So Lezard's caught up to the safety car now. We're on lap 5 out of 36. Maintains his lead over Smolly. Now with the field so close and bunched up together, will the safety car decide to come in at the end of this lap? He may well decide to stay out for one more lap. The lights are still on. It's still flashing anyway. I think it must still be staying out for one more lap, so this is good news potentially for all the medium runners. And I think particularly for Mikey and Pimmers, because they're going to be on fresher mediums now than the leaders. Muzzard's so desperate for the safety car to come back in. It's going around at quite a pace. Davidosh comes into the pits. I think to try and... He probably thinks he's going to try and get rid of that drive-through penalty, but it's not going to work like that. Has he got another set of mediums ready for him? He does. He's back out on circuit now. And the penalty will still be there, no question. So Lizard leads behind the safety car. Smalley second, Arjun third. And it's Truenbar, Liam, Exotic Alpha, and Romans Republic. The safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. So Lizard will allow the safety car to go. He'll back up the field. He's allowed to do that because the safety car lights are now off. And we saw in a Formula 3 race in Hungary a month or so ago where Lorenzo Colombo lost a race victory because he exceeded 10 car lengths behind the safety car when the safety car lights were still flashing. Lizard's away now though. The safety car's in and we're back on the way again. So Lizard leads on the restart. Now Smalley's dropped back from him, so Lizard's pulled away brilliantly. Can he bridge out that 1 second margin before the DRS is re-enabled? Oh, this is a collision. Berry's gone round for a spin on the exit of the last turn. And that's debris on the pit straight. Berry, who's been impressive with his consistency this season, has had another dent. And he's got quite a long way. He's going to have to do a whole lap without a front wing. He's got to hope for a safety car later on in the event now to have any chance of salvaging anything big. And Lizard's lead is 1.3 seconds. He really is flying on the restart so far. He's clearly got that battery up to, I wouldn't say overtake, but it's definitely higher than medium, to allow him to pull away from the rest. Now this is going to be an interesting now because Mikey, who is in 11th place on fresh and mediums, he'll be able to go longer. And the safety car is out, and I would think that will be because of the leftover debris from Bowie's car. So Murphy's in the pits for Alfa Romeo. Gets the car slowed down in time. Bradfield also making the change, and Murphy's out. Now that's interesting. Why is Murphy stopped? So Murphy's out of the race for some unknown reason. I wonder if he had a front... Oh, this is one of the problems with Codemasters, you see. Just hoping that Murphy's car goes away. Bradfield is able to go now. So Berry's answers have been... Berry's prayers have been answered. As the safety car is deployed. He's going onto the hard tyres, which will get him to the end of the race, no question. So we're down to 14 runners. I wonder why Murphy decided to exit this race. Answers on a postcard, please. And Smalley looks as though he's entered the pit lane, as has Liam. So they're probably going to go onto a set of hard tyres now. Let's see what Smalley decides to do here. It's actually a set of softs, so it'll probably need to be pitting again. But Liam doesn't really have to because he's going onto a set of hards. So out they go. Smalley rejoins in 11th. Liam in 12th place now. And it's Bradfield and Berry bringing up the rear. And Davidovic is still yet to take his drive-through penalty. In fact, he really should have taken it as soon as the safety car came back in. But now he can't do it under the safety car, so he'll probably think next time I'm just going to go into the pits and take it from there. He's already passed the line once under green flag conditions, so he can go past the line twice under green flag conditions, and once you've done that, that's when you've got to come in to take that penalty, otherwise you will be disqualified from the race. And Davidovic's just got to be careful here. So the safety car, I think, is going around for one more lap. As we watch Berry come through the last corner, and he'll catch the back of the Crocodile. So we have our second safety car of the race. This is lap 10. Lizard leads, Argent second and Trurenbar third, but an important note to take is that Smolly's been in for his first pit stop. He was on the mediums earlier and now he's on the soft compounds. And for some reason, Berry's just got in front of Bradfield. Now what is that all about? He shouldn't really be overtaken under the safety car. Should be giving that place back, if I'm honest with you, although his car is currently controlled by the AI. And the safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap, I would think. I think it is, yeah. The safety car lights are off anyway. So Lizard, as he did say before, will dictate the pace. He's got Argent on his tail this time, though. Now, this is an interesting point in the race now as to when the leaders will decide to pit in, considering that they've spent a few laps now. At least 4 laps under the safety car. But Lizard is clear once more, pulling away from the Mercedes, with Trurenbar third and Exotic Alpha right behind him now in the fight for third. Exotic Alpha is in 4th place. There's no change for position there, although Smolly diving to the inside of Davidovic into turn 1, and that's him going up into the top 10, but he's got penalised as well for track limits. So that's a bad dent to Smolly's hopes of taking the race victory here. Because that will have to be served at the end of the race, so he's going to need to fight his way back through the field. Now remember, Davidovic needs to take a drive-through penalty. He's already passed the line twice now under green flag conditions, so he's got to take his drive-through at the end of this lap. So Lizard leads by a second now, so he's bridged out that 1 second gap already from Argent. Trurenbar third, Exotic Alpha still right behind him. No DRS for the first 2 laps of the restart, remember. Ooh, Pim's got a little bit out of shape coming out of turn 7 there. He's kept the car pointing the right way. And yet we've got another safety car. Now what's that this time? What is that? What is this all about? I wonder if this is going to be a glitch, to be honest with you. Now, we've had this glitch some time ago in another Formula Racing League event, and we all thought that the game designers, Codemasters, will have fixed that in a given time, but they haven't done so quite here. And it looks as though that Leslie's just gone past the safety car already, but I think he must have done that before the line, which determines whether the leader needs to stay behind it or not. He's gone past it already anyway, seemingly. So we're on lap 12 and we are under a 3rd safety car period here now. With Lizard leading. Argent in 2nd place. Enduring Bar third and Exotic Alpha fourth. So Smalley gained a place on the restart ahead of Davidosh as Lezard comes in to the pits. Argent stays out there. Turin Bar also making the switch as this Exotic Alpha. So 3 drivers in the pit lane now. Smalley's got in front of Lezard, unsurprisingly. Lezard goes onto the hard tyres. Turin Bar likewise. Exotic Alpha out on another set of mediums. So Exotic Alpha, as we well know, will be pitting again before this race is over. So we have a new race leader, that is Argent in the Mercedes. Rome's Republic is up to second now, with Becco third and Mikey fourth. There's Zach in 5th place. And the safety car coming in at the end of this lap. Now, I wonder if this is for debris or something. Feels back together now anyway, so the safety car's coming in at the end of this lap. Luckily, it was just for 1 lap. So Argent backs the field up. $14 cars still running. Dan Murphy and Emil Rafiq, the only drivers out of the race so far. Got 23 laps to go at the end of this lap. But Argent's away. He leads on the restart, with Rome's Republic behind in 2nd. And we've got Becco in 3rd in the Aston Martin. There's Mikey in the Williams as Davidos comes in to serve his drive-through penalty. That'll drop into the back of the field. And in fact, he's been disqualified. So Davidos has been disqualified for failing to take the drive-through penalty, apparently. That is very strange, because he came into the pits to serve his drive-through intentionally, and now he's been disqualified. That is very, very bizarre. As we watch Smalley go to the inside of Plymouth. You can see there in the side view. Smalley getting to the inside of the Red Bull. This is an important move for him, and he goes up into 6th. So Smalley up a position. I hope we don't get another safety car, given the circumstances we've had in the previous. Lezard's up to 9th place already. He's doing a very good job. He's past Berry and Bradfield. Oh, we've got another safety car now. Now this is turning into a bit of a farce here at the Red Bull Ring. Sat comes in for a change of tyres. Does he get the car slowed down in time? He does, only ever so just. Well, I don't know what to say, to be honest with you. Weren't expecting a race like this. So there's Lezard in 8th. So Zach rejoins in 13th place. So just getting complaints from the drivers now in regards to the game itself, saying that there is a glitch involved, which I wouldn't disagree. And Rome's Republic now in the pits for Haas, as he gets rid of his medium tyres. And he'll go on to a set of the hards and rejoin behind Zach at the back of the pack. A set of soft tyres going on. So he rejoins behind the Aston Martin. Both will catch up to the back of the field, and I would think the safety car will come in at the end of this lap. Well, Arjun nearly colliding with the safety car there. If he touched the safety car, he would have been in deep trouble. And the safety car coming in at the end of this lap. So this is the 4th safety car period we've had in this race now. So I'm hoping we don't get this glitch now between here and the end of the race. So Arjun backs up the field. And he'll go when he is ready to do so. Here we go then. 20 laps remaining here in Austria. Hopefully we won't get any more safety cars now. So there's Mikey in 3rd place. Becco in 2nd as we watch Smalley closing on these guys. He nearly lost it coming out of turn 1. But at least he's far enough ahead of Liam. As we watch Lezard go past Pimison up into 6th place. Exotic gets penalised as well for track limits. And Pimis going through the polystyrene boards approaching turn 3. And now we watch Becco as he looks, have a look on Arjun as they go down into turn 4. So Arjun is in the lead still. Becco 2nd. There's an instant set to 2. Pimis is off into the gravel. He's rejoined though. Oh, we've got another safety car now. Mikey's in the pits for Williams. And Lezard is out of the race. Has he crossed out on the exit? I think he has. So Lezard's crashed out on the exit of the last turn, and I don't know whether we're going to get a restart here, to be honest with you. Getting a few drivers leaving the session. Zach's already left by the looks of things. According to Jack Berry, who is the host of the lobby, he's saying that everyone should retire and then we'll do a restart. And I think that's probably the only thing we can do. If I could just get a confirmation in the live chat from any of you drivers, then that would be very much appreciated. Okay, so Jack Berry's just come in saying lobby glitched, restarting with a custom grid, and I think that's the best decision that you can make there, Jack. So we are coming out of this session. We'll wait for an invite, and then we'll find out. Hopefully we'll get back on the way very, very shortly. If you have just joined us, we do apologise for the technicalities of the game. It's not normal to have 5 safety cars within the first half of a race like that. And so we will be restarting. So we're just waiting on the host of the lobby to send us an invite, and then we'll come back in. And whilst we wait for that, do get involved in the conversation if you wish so. Feel free to ask me any questions. In terms of the championship, with Smalley getting pole position, that would be a championship point to his name, so he's now 23 points behind Shearer at the top of the championship. And I think with all the drivers, not sure how many of the drivers are going to be coming back, but hopefully all of them. I think Dixon, who was meant to be here but couldn't do so in time, is going to be able to get his chance. But that's something to consult with the host of the lobby about. So the grid has been sent to the host of the lobby to set up the grid, so we shouldn't be too long before we do get racing again. Do apologise for the delay. So it's a circuit of 4.3 kilometres is the Red Bull Ring. This has hosted the Styrian and Austrian Grand Prix both this year and last year. Of course, one of the Styrian Grand Prix was put in as a last-minute replacement for what was the Canadian Grand Prix to begin with before that was cancelled. And then they put Turkey in as a plan B, and that ultimately got cancelled as it was put on the UK's red list. Back at the time anyway, and the Styrian Grand Prix was filled in, and of course Turkey's been putting back on the calendar for later in the year in October, in the hope that Turkey does come off the red list as it is currently is at the moment, with the latest review from the UK government to come later this week, I should say. And from what I can see, I think we are going to be doing an 18-lap race. Yeah, it's going to be a 25% race. So it's pretty much like a red flag situation in real life Formula 1, where once all the field back together, for a red flag restart, they tend to do a standing start, just as they did in Hungary this season, and Silverstone, and of course Baku. They also did a red flag at Imola for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, but they didn't do a standing restart because, with the conditions as they were, probably felt that one side of the grid were going to have more grip than the others, and of course they wanted all the cars to make sure that they got through the first section of the track safely. So 13 drivers have made it into the lobby now. Just a reminder of all the Formula Racing League action this week. Of course, the Tier 2 and Tier 3 races are on right now. There is the F2 round tomorrow. The second round of the season will be at Montreal in Canada. And of course, at the weekend on Friday at 7 PM British Summer Time, there is the 100% Racing Championship qualifying for the Friday, and then on Saturday night at 9 PM BST is the race itself. It's a 100% race. For Sunday, you've got Super Sunday Tier 1 and Super Sunday Tier 2 in action at 7 and 8 PM. For the F2 event tomorrow, that's 8:30 PM. That's what I was meant to be saying. Did the first round last week in Bahrain, which some of these drivers who are competing tonight have been involved in. We've got 15 drivers in the lobby now. We're just waiting on a couple more to join. So we're back for the race then. And so we've got Dixon, who wasn't able to take the first start, is now able to take this one. And let's say that we've got another driver that's joined called Ming's Dumb Cave, which I don't seem to have in the Formula Racing League. So I wonder if he may get kicked out of this. Someone seems to have ready up too early. I wonder if I'll have the formation lap for this. So the 5 red lights come on. When they go out, we'll be racing here at the Red Bull Ring. And it's go here at Red Bull Ring again. Smalley gets away well, as does Lezard with Turenbar alongside the Ferraris. They go into turn 1 as Argent gets in there in the Mercedes. So out of turn 1 they come. And Smalley's in the race lead with Lezard second. It's Turenbar ahead of Argent. And then it's Mikey, Exotic Alpha, Rome's Public, Liam, Pimis and Davidesh. So as they watch the drivers go through turn 3 there. And there's no change at the front, so although side-by-side action between Turenbar and Argent as they go toe-to-toe into turn 4 there. Argent to the inside of the Red Bull, he gets through. Mikey looks like he's trying to take advantage in the Williams and doesn't quite get through either. So Smalley leads, Leslie second, Argent third, and there's an off there, there's a Red Bull involved, it's Pimis and Dixon in the Williams. Smalley coming around the last corner to complete lap 1. Leslie second, Argent third, and it's Mikey, Turenbar and Exotic Alpha who's in 6th. And someone's gone round as well, although I think the leaderboard is just glitching at the moment. So Smalley in first place, with Lezard second, Argent third. There is Liam. He's shown he's in 15th, but he's in fact 7th place on the road, so I was just wondering if that's a glitch with the leaderboard at the moment. But Smalley is in the lead still with Lezard second. Now coming up towards the end of the second lap, with the top 2 still leading. So Smalley with a new fastest lap. The DRS has been enabled. Lezard will do what he did last time and get within DRS range. Dixon posting a new fastest lap in the Williams. He's got some clear track ahead of him. And now Lezard will be looking to make his way through on Smalley. The DRS is open. And Ming's Dom Cove getting ahead of Berry, but I'm not sure he's supposed to be in this lobby, to be honest with you. He probably won't be included in the results. And someone's gone off in sector 3. I think that may well be a glitch, to be honest with you. So the leader's coming round. I think the safe car may be turned off now for the remainder of the race, just so that we get through the remaining laps without any more interruptions. Smalley out in front, and Lezard behind. And someone's gone off. Mikey's turned round on the exit of turn 1. So he throws his qualifying effort all away, and now he finds himself in 13th place. And Lezard takes over the lead from Smalley. So Lezard in front now of the Alpine as they come towards turn 4. I think Smalley's going to find it difficult to fight back. We are still expecting pit stops from these drivers. Becco goes past Bradfield into 8th. So you can see Lezard only 6 tenths clear, which means Smalley will have the DRS to close back in on him again. And Lizard with a new fastest lap, 1 minute 4.3. So, as we come towards turn 3 again. Smolly behind Lizard. As he got out of shape on the exit, and that's going to allow Smolly to close back in on it again. And Smolly will go through and back into the race lead. So Smolly through ahead of the Ferrari. Don Argent's in third place ahead of Turenbar and Exotic Alpha. Rome's Republic not too far behind. And Turenbar with a time penalty for track limits. As the drivers start lap 6 of this Grand Prix now. So Lizard all over the back. Oh, he nearly made contact with the Alpine. Goes to the right of him as they come up towards turn 3. As Dixon also gets penalised for track limits. Now Smolly. Is he going to be close enough to have a go on Lizard at turn 4? The answer is no. And Liam's shown in 15th place, but I think that's wrong. It's meant to be in 7th place behind Rome's Republic. So Lizard in the Ferrari, entering turns 9 and 10, and we are a third of the way through this restart of the Austrian Grand Prix in Tier 1 of the Formula Racing League. Becco's in the pits for a change of tyres. Now, as he had damage to his front wing, I wonder, it is early in the race to be making a change. Soft tyres going on for him. That's an interesting call. He'll go to the back of the field, so at least he's got some ground to make up. Someone's gone off in sector 3. Is that Pimis in the Red Bull? It is. He's had a terrible time in this one. Still no change in the fight for the lead. And Ming Stumcave has got in front of Davidosh into 7th place. And Pimis is into the pits for Red Bull. I think he's gone round on the pit straight. I think he's messing around there now. Oh, and someone's off! Exotic Alpha's off in the McLaren. Has he got damage to the car? I'm not sure if he has done, but that won't do the aerodynamics of the car any good whatsoever. As Bradfield looks to get past Davidosh for 7th place. So Lizard in the lead, still ahead of Smolly. Now, when will the leaders decide to pit in? I don't expect them to be in the pits just yet. Oh, they are pitting. So Lizard, Smolly, Argent are in the pits. And Turenbar, where has he gone? He's dropped down to 10th place, so he must have had a moment somewhere. So that puts Rome's Republic into the lead of the race now. Exotic Alpha is 2nd with Mings 3rd. Davidosh in 4th place as Mings goes wide on the exit. Bradfield goes for a spin on the exit of turn 1. Now he rejoins. Doesn't put the leaders off. He's back down to 11th place now after that spin. And Davidosh has gone for a spin on the exit of the Remus curve. And Pumice gets penalised for track limits as well. I think that's Liam who's meant to be behind Rome's Republic. They are fighting for the lead, but Liam is not classified as second on the timing board as it should be. We'll just go with what the leaderboard says, and then if there's anything post-race that we need to go over, then so be it. So Rome's Republic into the pits for his only stop of the race. That allows, on the leaderboard, Exotic Alpha into it, and that'll see Lizard go back up into second position. You can see Liam's car is glitching at the moment. So Lizard in second place ahead of Smully and Argent. And someone's gone round at sector 1. Who's had a moment? Doesn't appear to be anyone right now. That could just well be a glitch. So, Exotic Alpha in the race lead. Now, does he come in at the end of this lap? I think he is. So, into the pits comes the McLaren. And that'll allow Lizard to go back where he should be in the race lead as he posts a new fastest lap. It's a 1 minute 3.9. So, championship point coming his way. Rome's Republic will go up to 4th place. And Smalley gets penalised for track limits now. That's not good news for his race. So Smalley behind Lizard in the battle for the race lead. Smalley wants to get in front of him as soon as he can and pull away from him. Otherwise he's not only going to lose the race victory, but he's going to lose second place as well. Davidoge gets a time penalty as Smalley goes in front of Lizard. Trumbar with a new fastest lap. Argent going to the inside of Lizard. Coming out of turn 3. They're going to go side by side down towards turn 4. They've both got DRS. Smalley's not going to be troubled though. Argent diving to the inside of Lizard into turn 4. And they're still going side by side through the King of 5 as they approach turn 6. But Lizard's in front of Argent this time. Now the more these two battle, the more that Smalley can shoot off into the distance from them. This is important for Smalley. So we're starting lap 13 of this race. Oh, and Argent goes into the barrier. I think the damage mod is off. But Argent's gone backwards off the racetrack. And that allows Exotic Alpha and Becco through. There's Dixon behind Mings in the fight for 7th place. And it's in sector 3. I think that's Davidovic coming into the pits to retire. So he's out of the race. Now Lizard behind Smalley once more with 5 laps remaining of this race. Means goes in, well, Dixon goes in front of Mings for 7th place now. There's Liam. I think he's meant to be in 3rd place at the moment now. He is in front of Rome's Republic. He's not down a lap. He is in fact on the lead lap. He's doing a cracking race so far. So as it stands with the time penalties applied, Smalley will drop to 2nd place behind Lizard. So he gets penalised now for track limits. So not too long to go now before this race is finally over. And as it stands with Turenbar well down the order in 9th place, could well be 10th because of where Liam is. The championship gap will close back down. It was massively. I mean, the gap before the race started, after Smalley got pole position, was 23 points. And if Turenbar was, let's say, finished 10th, that would see him lose the lead in the championship. Driver with the fastest lap of the race so far is, in fact, Turenbar. So we get 11 points as it stands. Smalley would get 41. Smalley would go back into the lead of the championship. Lizard with him. Oh no, Smalley would finish 2nd, I should say. So we get 33 points. That would put him on 108. Turenbar would come away with 11 points. He'd get 110. So in fact, Turenbar would still keep hold of the race, the championship lead. With Lizard taking victory potentially, that would take his points total up to 82, which would move him up to 3rd in the championship. We're into the last few laps then of this. So let's see if there's any other battles going on throughout the field. Doesn't appear to be. Dixon's done a good job in 6th place in the Williams. Right behind Becco as well. Turenbar getting in front of Arjun now for 8th. As Arjun goes off the track once more. Oh, he spins round again. Arjun having a race to forget now. He continues to have his own spins. I'll just get that car to the end of the race now, mate. Oh, he's coming into the pits there, look. So I think this is going to be a retirement for Arjun. I don't know if he is aware of the point system. Maybe he's going to try and go for the fastest lap, but he's not going to have a lot of time to do that. So the race leader is coming now onto the last lap of this race. And as I said, looking to try and get the lead back on the road. They won't do it into turn 1. As it stands, Smalley would not take the victory. It'll be Lizard going to the top step, as he did say last week in China. Becco moving in front of Exotic Alpha for 4th. And then he gets in front of Dixon. He shouldn't really be in this race, to be honest with you. So it's down to the stewards to decide what will happen post-race. Members of it's a mandatory thing for these guys to be part of the Formula Racing League. They don't just invite whoever they want just so that they can fill up the numbers. It's an absolute no-no. Here's Smalley then. He's got Lezard behind him. He's not bridged that 3-second gap that he needed to have done. So Smalley crosses the line, but it's Lezard who will take the Austrian Grand Prix victory away from Smalley. Smalley drops down to second place in the final classification. Liam is meant to be third, but on the leaderboard, Rome's Republic is in third place. Beko ahead of Exotic Alpha over the line. Ming's Dog Cave finishes fourth. Beko fifth. Truenbart gets to sixth because of time penalties of others. Dixon eighth. Berry ninth. Mikey will be 10th. Bradfield 11th. Argent, I think, is in the process of going for the fastest lap here. He'll come home 12th. Pim is 13th. And Liam should say he could well be 14th, but all the results are unofficial. There's going to be quite a lot of changes, I think, with the race results. You can see Don Argent posting a new fastest lap, but he will not get the point as he'd finished outside the top 10. But it's a race victory once again for Lezard here at the Red Bull Ring. So we are just waiting for the classification to appear on the screen. So Liam's just going past the cars here. I think with the algorithm of the game as it is, I think we're just going to wait for him to complete the remaining laps and hopefully the leaderboard will update. But it's race victory for Lezard here at the Red Bull Ring. So your final race result is Lezard, who is the winner ahead of Smalley. Then it's Rome's Republic, third, Mings fourth, Beko fifth, Turenbar sixth, Exotic Alpha seventh, Dixon eighth, Bowie ninth, and Mikey in the top 10. Bradfield 11th, Argent 12th, Pimis 13th, Deroche 14th. And Liam is saying he didn't finish the race, but Deroche didn't finish the race, and Liam did finish the race, so we're expecting the leaderboard to update itself. Hopefully we can get some evidence from the driver concerned that he did finish in the right position. So in regards to the championship, Lezard moves up to 82 points. He's now third in the championship. Smalley second and Turenbar in sixth. So Turenbar does retain the lead in the championship, but the gap is down to, I would say, less than 5 points. But more on that another time. We'll update the Discord with the championship standings before the next round, which will be, just getting the calendar up, the next round of the championship will be at Albert Park in Australia. Next week, on the 31st of August, 8 PM British Summer Time. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the Formula Racing League returns.